How do you make a sequel to a movie that got basically everything right? Jurassic Park gave us an original story with real tension, unforgettable characters, and dinosaurs. Dinosaurs! And it still holds up decades later. So when it came time to build a trilogy, the sequels had a massive challenge ahead of them. Now, a great sequel has to respect what people loved about the first movie while giving them something new. It needs stronger character development, or even more character development, a consistent storyline, fresh ideas, and a reason to exist beyond bringing just the dinosaurs back. In this rewrite, I want to look at where the Jurassic Park sequels fell short, and we're going to start with The Lost World. Now first, I want to say, the Jurassic Park movie, first movie, perfect, no notes. The Lost World. Why are we taking out two of the main characters from the last movie? I don't understand it. Maybe they had some conflicts with scheduling or even money issues. Okay, but nowadays we can get people coming back from 30 years ago and doing movies, so what's that all about? Anyway, if you really want characters to come back, you'll make them come back. So, here's what we're doing. We're writing all three characters in this movie. This movie still focuses on Ian because I liked his story and where he was going in this movie. During his meeting with Hammond about going to the island, Hammond leaves out a few people who are on the research team. This is building up Ian, figuring out who's going on this journey with him. Now, the people that Hammond leaves out are Alan and Ellie. They're going to be part of the research team that is actually already on the island, while Ian's back at home figuring out things with his daughter and with his girlfriend. So when Ian gets to the island, he meets up with his girlfriend, who's taking pictures like normal, but then he runs into Alan and Ellie, which is a wholesome uniting of these main characters. Alan and Ellie are sent with the research team to figure out why the dinosaurs are breeding now. They shouldn't have been able to survive 7 days, but somehow they're able to breed. So this is perfect because Ellie is a vet for dinosaurs, and then Alan was just a archaeologist. So both have credentials by being at the park before, so now they're able to go to this, Site B. Throughout the movie, we see Alan and Ellie getting into arguments about kids, because this was mentioned in the last movie, how Alan didn't like kids, and there's still a little bit of tension there. So this puts some strain on their relationship throughout the movie, and then when we get into the third one, we'll talk more about that. But this is like a small little character development arc that we're going to see in this movie. Meanwhile, Malcolm, his girlfriend, and his daughter are going through their story of taking photos and collecting their own samples for Hammond, who wants to open another park in the little nest of islands that are in that area. But Site B is going to be the original breeding ground for these dinosaurs to then be shipped out to this park. Now, this park is supposed to be a more efficient, ecological, and sustainable park that is going to be less mechanical and more natural. However, Hammond's nephew is going to want to bring dinosaurs back to the States, just like the original plot. So we see InGen come up and take the dinosaurs, but there's going to be a rivalry between the two parks, one in the States and one on the island. Alan and Ellie, halfway through the plot, I think, should find plants that are harmful to the dinosaurs, and that's what we would rewrite in, is plants, like killer plants that are from the dinosaurs' age, and their DNA has been spliced together to create a super plant that breeds parasites in the air to be passed from dino to dino, and then grow from their corpses when they die. So we've seen these types of parasites in our own world, actually, where they take control of ants, have the ants die, and then they breed on the ants and get passed to other ants. Pretty crazy thing. If you looked it up in Nat Geo, it's a wild thing. So we're just going to copy that idea and use it for these plants. So we figure out what's going on with the plants because there's a facility back on the island that they're getting their samples from. A small facility that, of course, everyone there has died. Why? Because the dinosaurs went on a rampage being controlled by these parasites. So InGen, they have their own agenda, just like in the plot of the normal Lost World. They begin caging the dinos to prep them for shipment across the sea. Now, Alan and Ellie then go back to Ian when Vince Vaughn's character, I don't know his name, brings the baby T-Rex after their whole chaos of letting the animals go. He brings the T-Rex back to their camp, but then when the parent T-Rexes come through to save their baby, all of that crazy stuff happens with the trailers, and then Alan and Ellie get separated from Ian, who's with his girlfriend, and his daughter is actually left in the hide all alone because I think his name was Eddie. Eddie came back to rescue Ian and everyone else. So then Alan and Ellie run into Ian's daughter, who is still in the hide during the T-Rex encounter. And they take cover when InGen captures Ian's team to go find rescue off the island. The T-Rex chase with the group is great, and I think doesn't need to be changed or rewritten. We have Alan and Ellie kind of tagging along on the side, figuring out what InGen is going to be doing with Ian, but they're not ready to complete a rescue just yet. So the T-Rex chase, crazy stuff. It's a good 20 to 30 minutes of just dinosaurs eating people. I think the brutality also needed to be upped, especially with the InGen characters. We see Eddie, who was on Ian's team, get ripped in half, but then all the other guys on InGen only got bitten, and then they were hidden when the dinosaurs were eating them. So let's get more brutality for the InGen people because they're bad guys instead of Ian's team. That's what I would flip, is seeing less brutality on the people that we're rooting for versus the people we aren't. Now, after this T-Rex chase spreads out, goes their separate ways, but Alan, Ellie, and Ian's daughter are able to reunite with them, and so now we have the squad all back together. InGen takes the T-Rex back to San Diego. They put him on the ship. They go back to San Diego. Everything gets crazy. But there's one thing that's also on the ship. The plants. Now, the plants are able to affect humans in this instance. Because Alan and Ellie know to cover up. They have masks on. But the people there at InGen on the boat aren't doing that. So, when the T-Rex gets loose, it's because the people die from the parasitic plants. But the plants don't grow from humans. They only grow from dinosaurs because their chromosomes are a special chromosome that only the plants can grow from. So the parasites kill the humans but don't grow from their corpses. The T-Rex gets loose in San Diego. All of that stuff happens. Crazy stuff. Things get shut down. We see InGen being taken over by different authorities and executives at the end, leading up to the third movie, which is going to involve InGen. We see a post-credit scene of InGen testing on the dinos and the plants, giving the audience a foreshadowing of what might happen in the third film. Now, these are going to be a big part of what happens in the third film because we need dinos, new stuff with plants being from the dinosaur age. What's going to happen? We'll let you know on the Jurassic World 3 rewrite.